So I don't believe the United States is a racist country. If you disagree, you're more than welcome to change my mind.
What was the cause of the United States Civil War?
Well, don't come with an easy question or anything. I mean, I think the cause of the Civil War was basically how government was going to run, the freedoms and what people could and couldn't do. What do you think the cause of the Civil War was? I'm sorry?
I'm not running for president. I wanted to see your
That's a good thing.
on the cause of the Civil War.
I mean, I think it always comes down to the role of government and what the rights of the people are. And I will always stand by the fact that I think government was intended to secure the rights and freedoms of the people. It was never meant to be all things to all people. Government doesn't need to tell you how to live your life. They don't need to tell you what you can and can't do. They don't need to be a part of your life. They need to make sure that you have freedom. We need to have capitalism. We need to have economic freedom. We need to make sure that we do all things so that individuals have the liberties so that they can have freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom to do or be anything they want to be without government getting in the way.
Thank you. And in the year 2023, it's astonishing to me that you answer that question without mentioning the word slavery.
What do you want me to say about slavery?
No, you've answered my question. Thank you.
Next question.
What's your belief about the reason the Civil War was fought?
I mean, again, I think that as we look in government, as we watch government, you have different sides, and I think that you see passions on different sides. And I don't think anyone does anything out of hate. I think what they do is they do things out of tradition and out of beliefs of what they believe is right. I think you had one side of the Civil War that was fighting for tradition, and I think you had another side of the Civil War that was fighting for change. You know, at the end of the day, what I think we need to remember is that, you know, everyone is supposed to have their rights. Everyone's supposed to be free. Everyone's supposed to have the same freedoms as anyone else. So, you know, I think it was tradition versus change is the way I see it.
Tradition versus change on what?
On individual rights and liberty of people.
Nikki Haley is a POC that is colorless passing. So are we really shocked? Are we shocked? They will say and do what they must to keep their position and money, just like the Asians thought through striking down affirmative action that will hurt the Negroes and help them in their thirst to be a good pet to the colorless. She did not lie, though. Here's why. She totally dismissed the fact the wealth generated by the enslavement and usury of human beings, whom still have not been properly compensated. The 3 survivors of the Tulsa Race Massacre, Rosewood, are still alive, nor the descendants of the victims of antebellum chattel slavery, whom are redlined and have many hurdles and landmines to navigate through just to make a living. If someone brings up Oprah, Jay-Z, and Beyonce, you'll get cussed out. Being locked out of buying a home, the GI Bill, let's bring that forward, and 2, the Navy Federal Credit Union discrimination, which just happened in 2023, along with many civil rights violations. I dedicate this to the pull yourself up by your bootstraps, work hard pieces of S. The freedoms that colorless people could have, slaughtering natives, taking land, enslaving and overworking black people to literal death, and being savages. They are okay with this. She's okay with this because the people she engages with is okay with the disgusting historical events. They love it, which is why I don't understand why they don't want to talk about it and acknowledge it. Any conservative or any political platform having an issue only has an issue because in front of everyone, this is a bad look. You do not say this in public. You understand this in private. This is how her constituents feel, and so does she. Slavery was a means to an end between the Confederacy and the Union. I refuse to talk about the Civil War again. We know what Lincoln said. He didn't give half a damn about enslaved people. The wealth, yes, the people know. This was about the enslavers, their children, and the usury of us as property handmaids and to make wealth for them. The way she said, say what about slavery? I interpreted as who gives a F about them. This is about us and our liberty. This nation was for colorless people. She wants to show she will uphold the American ideals of her constituents. She didn't say anything wrong. She spoke a truth that people do not want to hear. She stated in a different video, she said, one side of the Civil War was fighting to uphold tradition and the other side was fighting for change. This is from the point of view of the ruling demographic. She's half wrong. I'm glad she had the balls to say the part that was right. There were people fighting to abolish slavery in which they failed. We all know, exception if convicted of a crime. Many of your favorite companies pay 25 cents to 80 cents to have their product made for your consumption. This was the tradition enslaving Black people. The change was about having a united front. If they could have kept the United States unified and kept the tradition, they would have. But they couldn't, seeing how the North needed Black help. Be mad, but she told the truth. Believe people when they tell you who they are. This is about the colorless demographic. Black people were a non-factor. One side did not fight for change. They just wanted to remain unified because a house divided cannot stand. The other one did fight for their tradition. Robert Smith, an Army veteran, shared a video on X, formerly Twitter, on Monday. I was confronted and surrounded by some colorless supremacists that don't like gays or Blacks in the Republican Party. They shouted the N-word, the F-word at me to make their point. However, I served in Iraq. I never backed down, ever. He got what he deserved and a wake-up call fit for a rocket raccoon. Their hate is so deeply embedded in them, no, not a soul, but their essence. They cannot grow their party because of that deep hate within them. I do not respect her for trying to walk it back. No, stand on that square. Her statement, what does it mean today, is a dog whistle. What does any of that mean today? You're free, is what I heard. Was this a Biden plant? In my opinion, yes. It doesn't affect her sentiments, though. I really don't like these humanoids using the pain of my people for their personal gain. If you are not talking about cutting the check, land, gold, items free that are made of cotton, then you need to shut the F up. Using us like this. They never would make light and use the Holocaust in this way. They need to stop throwing around an event that affected my life, my mother, my grandmother's life, like it's nothing. Just because they feel like it was nothing. Just because they feel it was justifiable for the life that they get to live right now and the privileges they have right now. May this nation drink deep from the cup they made. I'll go ahead and leave it right here. Let me know what you think about this video, and I will see you in the next one.